Those inside of this Zoom, can you hear me okay? If you can, just put a one in the chat area. Got it. Inside of this Zoom, can you hear me okay? Got it. Okay. Let me just turn off this. Yeah, I see you mentioned you can see my other trading screen. I actually pulled this up on purpose. Pulled this up on purpose so you guys can see the future side. Okay. We are live on YouTube and good here on Zoom. Let's go ahead and get this started. What's going on, Radek? Good morning. Good morning from Europe. Let's get things going. So today I'm actually going to do something a little different with the analysis. I'm going to put my chart in a different format, and I just want to ask you guys' opinion, see if you can see it clearly or if it's too hard to see. So let me just try doing this here. I'm going to share my screen, my other screen. Screen number 3, go. Okay, so I'm sharing my other screen now. Let me know if this is too wide for the Zoom or YouTube. And if it's good, just let me know yes. If it's not so good, way too wide, then let me know with a no. You can kind of see the display on the YouTube and it's a bit on the wide side. Maybe try to just put it on my regular screen here. Here, I'm going to share it over to my other screen. Okay, now it's on my other screen. So we'll be looking at this way. I think this might be better from what I see on YouTube. It looks more of a better screen type there. See everything. So we'll just keep it this way. Yeah, because the widescreen it's a little too wide. You would have to have a widescreen on the Zoom to see that pretty good. But yeah, let's go ahead and get things started here. So a couple good plays I'm seeing for this week, some that are coming up here pretty soon. But let me just start with going to forexfactory.com. See what we have on the news today. So today, Tuesday, Pacific Standard, we do have some GBP news coming up in a couple hours. It's 7 o'clock right now, so about 4 more hours for the CPI news. So that one's a pretty important news for the GBP, so we will have to look at what's going to happen there. So definitely going to be looking at GBP pairs for tonight's session, and let's see, tomorrow there is FOMC, but that's going to be not at the start of New York session, but more later the New York session at 11 o'clock. So New York opens at around 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So yeah, a couple hours after New York, there'll be FOMC and some GDP news at 1:45. So I'll be looking at that, probably trading. Well, we'll see. Probably tomorrow, GDP news for NCD. But yeah, so let's go ahead and look at GBP pairs for tonight. Let me go ahead and look at my red list here. GBP USD is one of the pairs that I'm looking at now for a potential good setup here. So I'm going to start off with opening up the weekly time frame here. So weekly, looking at the chart, overall price is bearish on the weekly. The main thing that I was noticing with GBP USD is, let's see, this level right here. It's respecting like resistance, so it is going into a downtrend, going to other areas.
Order submitted.
Okay, so yeah, so overall, I think with GBP USD, with the high impact news and everything going on, I think it's going to be bearish on GBP USD, just from what I see. So I'm going to pull up the 4 hour time frame. This one's showing me more of what I expect as far as like trend direction of what's happening. So it is price is dropping. Um, Price is dropping. It did reject off the 61.850% area, and so this is kind of the markup of what I have here. So it did break structure, come back up. It's hitting about the 200 moving average right here. So I expect for price to hit this area and then bounce down. So a short position. So not to get in just yet. We do want to wait until London session for price to see what's happening with news and see which direction it's headed towards. If obviously if we see a big spike going up, we're not getting in on shorts and invalid. But overall, for news, should be looking to short this. So going to be waiting for that and seeing what happens here. But yeah, if there's a good strong push coming down for the GBP, then I can see this dropping down to 1.238. 1.238 levels. So yeah, that's my overlook of what I can see potentially happening. And I'd say the only thing though is on the 15-minute was going into an uptrend. Okay, so just now it's starting to show more of a bearish momentum on GBP USD. Earlier when I was looking at it, it was more higher up here. So now it's starting to show more of like a bearish structure happening there with we have higher low, but then we have a lower high. And then right here, this is starting to do a lower low. So market's starting to shift. But yeah, Yeah, so GBP, we'll be looking at all the GBP pairs and getting an idea of uh, having the GBP pairs dropping down. And if there's any pairs that you want me to analyze, just put it in the chat area. I have it pulled up on my other screen here. I can, oh, let's see. Actually forgot to turn that off. Um, there we go. Okay, I have it off now. So I would say the next one we're going to be looking at is GBP JPY, just because it's during the London session, JPY. JPY is more Asian session, but we're going to be looking because the news is happening at 11 p.m. So that's approaching towards the end of the London session. So that's still pretty valid to look at GBP pairs. So let's look at GBP JPY. Okay, so it's a pair I'm already bullish on. So it's not looking so good if GBP is going to go down or is expected to go down, and this is showing that it's going up. And it's kind of like a mixed signal here. See on the weekly, it's bouncing up off this major area. Pull it into screen. Let's see. Yeah, on the 4 hour, I'm going to pull this up some more. So 4 hour, we do see it's approaching an area of a strong trend line resistance right here. So I could see that it could potentially respect this and drop down. Also, with this two that I see right here, we could potentially see that usually with these twos, they happen in areas of a Fibonacci with the Pro 3 signals here. So the threes are the major areas for reversal. We have a three right here, but then we have a two right there. And usually when we see something like this, we expect for price to do something like this here. So it's in the level of 61.850% area. So I would say potentially this can respect this area here and go into a downtrend from there. So huh. Okay, let me just analyze this a bit more before signing there. As far as market structure, though, we are seeing it is doing more highs there. So may have to move stops, take about 50% of my position, stops to break even. Okay. Let's look at the 1 hour, see more structure on there. Okay. So 1 hour looking at the structure, we do see that it's in that area where it's kind of pulling back. Pulling back to its previous area of resistance that is now support. So it did bounce off support. We do have a double bottom down here. Yeah, it didn't print out any two or anything down here. So it's just kind of, do you notice a three up here, kind of three tops and okay. Yeah, so I would want price to break below these levels, and we may notice that when news happens. It would have to break below these levels and I would say reach first target probably about here. Stops would be when it breaks about there. So first target here, second target aiming more lower down here. And then at that point, we may notice a shift of structure where it will probably do something like this and then continue to drop down long term. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Mm. I'm gonna mark off one more level on the daily, see if I spot something out. So daily, we do see it's a bearish trend. It's having its pullback right now.
Order canceled.
Okay, so it is in a strong area of resistance. Not super strong, not a super strong area, but a pretty decent level. Let me just see one other thing. Okay, so do you have a major level here? The 196. Okay, so looking at this, we may notice a rejection after the GBP news. It's around that 50, 61.8 level on the daily. Now, for this entire move to happen, that'd be a very long trend momentum there. But yeah, we may notice price push down. Say probably to about this level here. And if it breaks lower than that, then even better. So yeah, I'll actually add this to my I'll add this to my red list here. Red list here to check this out for tonight's session, London session. By the way, let's see the chat. So, okay, so I see Radic, you mentioned about USD CAD. I'll check that one out, even though if it's not in the GBP, um, I can have a look at that. So for now, if there's any GBP pairs that you want me to analyze, just write it down in the chat area. Or if there's any other pairs, I'll get to that after the GBP pairs. We'll look at next the GBP CHF. Actually, yeah, see GBP CHF. Okay, so price is in a downtrend overall on the weekly time frame. When you look at structure, you do see that it's pulling back, and when you see this double top up here, we have one top, two top. It looks like it already fulfilled its distance right there for sure. So, but this right here is a strong level of resistance where it's the neckline. So we may notice a rejection, which is good because it's aligning with all my GBP potential rejection and dropping down.
Order canceled.
Let's look at the daily here. So daily, we do see that it's basically doing a rectangle right here,
Order filled.
rectangle here. Now, if you know anything about rectangles, usually when it has its full breakout, that's when you can expect the travel distance to be either like this or like this coming down, reaching down to these levels. So I would say, well, this is a daily. So because this is a daily and news hits, we may notice a strong push coming down, probably down to like this level down here. So I guess we would have to see, does it break or does it not? So let's look at the 4 hour. 4 hour is showing uptrend momentum. Here on the 1 hour, though, we do have like a very weird head and shoulder pattern, but it is giving that head and shoulder pattern. We have left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Let me mark that off here with my tool. So if this was to show more momentum dropping below here, then I would say it's gonna drop. Drop to about here, this level. Look at the 15, see what we got here. Yeah, so I'll add this to one to look at as well. But yeah, so overall, I'm bearish on GBP news. And just check something too. Previous was 2.3, forecast was 2.6. So there is a positive forecast that's happening. We'll have to see like what the actual gives us. If it's lower than expected, then we may notice that down momentum there. Just gonna check one other thing. Okay. Yeah, it's a little iffy here, but we do see more bears, more bearish possibility there. So we will take a look at that. By the way, I will have a little bit of a training session tonight, like I do usually. I still haven't figured out the schedule for I'm doing it on Thursdays, but it's most likely going to be Thursday. I've been thinking about it, having where we just use this for technicals, for predictions throughout the week here, and then getting into like maybe Thursday, we'll get into strategies and things that you can apply. But yeah, as of now, it's not official. When it is official, it will be announced in the community group. So yeah, so just watch out for that announcement. Yeah, so GBP, CHF, expected to be bullish. I mean bearish. One last GBP pair, then we'll do requests. Ooh. Clearly the New Zealand dollar is weak, very weak against the GBP. So this one is no good. All right, let's start looking at the requests. So USD CAD. Actually, before the request, I'll look at GBP CAD just to see if there's anything with CAD that it's telling me. Bullish, 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 nothing. Okay. Now let's check out USD CAD. Bullish, 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 nothing. Um, so I, in the chat you mentioned about the threes showing on the 4 hour, the three showing on everything. Okay. Um, which is good. It's fine to have threes. It's not a bad thing for threes, but the way that you use it is important to understand. So one thing that I'll look for the threes is there a major area of resistance where it's at? And like I look at the bigger time frame, maybe there's a level of resistance that is there, like a strong level of resistance or support, depending on where the threes are at. So if it's a strong level of resistance, then yeah, we may notice that it can reject off of there. And then I'll look at the small time frame to see if there's any sort of market structure pattern that lets me know, okay, price is going to reverse. From looking at this right now, though, I do see that it's not really giving us anything just yet. Like maybe potentially a double top. Okay, but it's still not showing really anything. And overall, this is a really strong bullish momentum. And earlier, just some nuggets that I mentioned was when you notice a rectangle like this, right? I mentioned when there's a breakout, usually that breakout, which it did break out on the upside there, is a distance of this low to this high. It's a distance that it should go when it breaks out. So it's still on its journey up there. Still hasn't reached there. So it may be because this is a weekly time frame. So this may be maybe like another 2 weeks, 3 weeks to reach here, or maybe the end of this week, depending on how strong this push is. Um, but yeah, it's still on its way up, which you could catch a bullish momentum trade. Like if it hasn't reached its final target up there, and then you could look at the smaller time frames to try to get in on areas where it may pull back. So I would say like a nice pullback area may be it may drop down. I'm gonna put this full screen. So may drop down to about here, and then maybe from there you can get in for a pullback entry. Or if it drops to about here, then you can potentially get in for that pullback entry. Okay. Right here, you can do more of like a multiple entry. So like buy here, buy here. You split it into two buy entries. Even if you see the three at the top, that doesn't mean that you just sell there. Now, you could get into a short term. Now, if you're trying to just scalp this, then yes, maybe you might be able to find something on a small time frame. So I'll just try to find something here. And look at the 15. So yeah, looking at the 15 right here, like, okay, maybe when price is right here, it's almost at the resistance of this previous top right here. Maybe if there's any type of candle rejection that shows me right there, let's say like a shooting star, evening, an evening star, a bearish engulfing. If I see anything up here that shows me that price is going to reject, then yes, you may be able to catch a sell entry, tight stops, and then catch it to its previous low. So yes, you can potentially catch this for a short-term trade, but yeah, that's if you're scalping. Right now, I'm looking more for like a longer momentum. And if I was to look for long-term momentum, it's more bullish on this rather than bearish. Okay. Hope that explains there. Now let's get into some more pairs. So if you have any pairs, just write in the chat area. In the meantime, while we wait for more pairs to pop up, I'll just have a quick look at everything. Okay. I'm gonna have a look at this one right here. Mm, Okay, so overall we're bearish on this. So I'm just gonna take this off. Okay. Look at this some more. So 4 hour right now. Do see it dropping down some, right below this previous low here. This one's actually a pretty decent setup right here. You pull up the 4 hours some more. Okay. CAD JPY, I'm gonna wait for a bit of a pullback. But yeah, this one would be a pretty good, decent setup just because from what I see here, potentially we're gonna see a left shoulder, head, then right shoulder there. It's not just yet. It may not happen this week. It may happen. We'll have to see how this structure forms. Add this to my red list here. Yeah, pretty solid potential setup that's happening there. Um, Overall, we are in a bearish momentum for like the bigger time frames, projecting off major areas, and it should be targeting all the way down here to 103627. So like technically you could potentially place a sell right now and then aim for here. Risk to reward would not be good because it'd probably be like a 1-to-1. So you want to get in for more of a sniper entry into smaller time frames. So that's where we would zoom in and be looking for these areas to get in on. So for this, yeah, so for this, I'd wait for more of, and we have the three at the top, so you can see up here. Um, that double top formation could have been an entry up there at the head. Uh, but yeah, so right now it's at this area where we expect price to pull back up into about here, maybe where that resistance line is at, and then drop down. I'm gonna do one final thing, which is the fit tool. So yeah, we'll be looking at these areas right here. Andres, how do you think the Fed fund rate might impact the dollar tomorrow? Bearish dollar since we are cutting rates. So rate cuts could be good or bad. It just all depends. Um, Depends on how much the rate cut is. But yeah, overall, like could be bearish. Reading your next question. So you would wait for more confirmation like Euro USD because on Wednesday or on W there's a sideway, but on D, oh weekly. Okay, W weekly. It's sideways, but on daily there's a low 3. I'll check out Euro USD right now. Euro USD is one that correlates with GBP USD. So usually if I expect GBP USD to go down, Euro USD will go down with it. Um, but yeah, let's see. Now I'll check out Euro USD here. Let me just add this. Okay, it's already on my red list. Mm. By the way, on the 15-minute, I do notice a 3 at the bottom here. Kind of reject breakout. Right now it's in an area where it's kind of retesting this neckline. I guess we'll have to see if it breaks below this low over here, then I would say it's no longer in that uptrend and starting to go into a downtrend early, which usually doesn't happen rejecting off 23.6, but we'll have to wait and see. 7. So there's about 3 more hours, so we're gonna have to see what's gonna happen there. But yeah, let's look at Euro USD right now. Yeah, I can see with rate cuts, this should be going up. Already before rate cuts or anything like that, I can see that it's expected to go up. I see Hugo, you mentioned good setup. Which setup are you referring to? Yeah, so right now it's at a strong level of support down here, weekly time frame. Okay, let's look at the 4 hour here. And this is going to be the last one, and we're going to start getting into the training portion. Mm, the market's been pretty choppy on Euro USD. This well, it makes sense for it to be choppy and a strong level of support for a weekly time frame. So it's like it's kind of collecting orders, buys and sells, and we need to see which direction the breakout happens. So then we have to see the news, obviously, and then also like which direction it's headed towards. But I would say more of a bullish momentum, which does mean the euro gets stronger than the dollar, which can uh, go up from here. So yeah, so much choppiness going on here USD. Yeah, but I'd say it's not really a good one this week so far. Like unless I'm really getting into small time frame and like trying to spot something in here, but overall, just looking at it right now, I'm not seeing a good setup for this week. Maybe next week. This week, not so much. I guess we'll have to see. Um, but yeah, let's get into the training portion now. 7:45. Let me check my other screen. Share right now so you guys can see. I don't know where I was at the start of this session, but getting into my futures chart, which by the way, today in like a few hours, Apex, if you're not familiar with what Apex is, um, Apex Trader Funding is doing a 80% off. And this is happening until the end of today. I want to say it's probably about like, let's see. Apex Trader funding. So there is about 1 hour left. So 1 hour left after the end of this session. Apex will have 80% off of their evaluations, which when you look at it, it's actually a pretty good deal for the 80%. Being that you can get a $25,000 account. It's showing 147 a month. With the 80%, it brings it down to about $30 a month. So for 30, you could potentially get 25,000, which is pretty decent. So yeah, this is for futures trading. So if, you could trade gold, you could trade the NQ, the Nasdaq, the ES, S&P 500. So you could just do trading there. This other screen that I have here, this is automated. Obviously, like while I'm on this session, my trades are being automated for the futures market. So you could see like, I don't know how much up it's been since the start of this, but you could see unrealized profit currently. There's open trades up like 100 on these. Total so far on the day, we have like 1,200, 1,300, 3,800 on this account, 266, 267. Yeah, but it's a software that automatically trades for me. So it's, yeah, pretty good software. So I have like for the future side, I have things that can automate things that can try to pass things potentially in one day with Apex trading, trader funding. So the profit targets for them, they're 6%, 6% on cross, doesn't matter which account size you get. So if it's 100K account that you're trying to get funded for, you have to hit 6%, which is $6,000 in profit. So once you reach that target, then that's when they give you the funding. And from there, you get 100% up until a certain amount. And then once you reach that amount, then it's going to be a 90-10 split. So you keep 90% of the profits, they keep 10%. But yeah, so I just thought I'd mention this before I get into the training part, and I'm gonna have to extend this session a bit longer. But if you did want to use Apex Trader funding, what I can do, and this is specifically for the people that are in here, what I can do is if you do use the code, so I do get a bit of a commission if you did sign up under my code. What I can do as a way to try to help you out is I can connect you onto the algorithm and try to help you pass it. Uh, so it's not guaranteed that it's going to pass it, but I will connect it and you are most likely going to pass it. You just have to, we can go either the fast route where we do like a higher risk, or we can go more of like a lower risk, moderate. Like right now, these accounts that I have running right now is a little bit more on like the lower moderate, um, the lower risk settings, where yeah, these are settings where you can use once things are passed, like, and you're just passively making profits from there. Um, but yeah, so let me post the code here. Let me post it onto the chat area for those that are interested. And when you do sign up, make sure to reach out to me. You can reach out to me via Telegram. You can reach out on the Watt platform. The Watt platform would be best right now just because that's where It's a new platform where we transferred into. So you can create a support ticket there. Um, and then my support will let me know that like you signed up, and then I'll privately get connected with you. Or you can also create like a support ticket on the Discord area. And then they'll let me know, and then they just redirect me to let me know like you're on the Discord or you're on the WAP platform. So whichever one, um, just reach out, let me know that you signed up, and we can get everything connected. Um, Let me just get this link here for you guys. So it's actually specific code. Copy it. And actually, I'm gonna get over here. I posted it not so long ago inside of the announcement section. So it is this link right here. All right, so I just posted in the chat area. Oops, meant to copy this link. So yeah, once you go to the oh, did I not send it? Whoops. And yes, I have another question. They do accept US clients. So Apex Trader Funding, I just posted the code on there. I post the code on YouTube as well. But yeah, so you use this code. This is how you claim the 80%. And from there, um, after you get signed up, you just reach out to me, let me know that you got signed up. Uh, Now you could get one account or you could get multiple accounts. And what we can do is do like a reserve. So let's say, for example, you get 10 accounts. You get 10 accounts, two of them we can go high risk. We could do uh, four of them a moderate risk, and then four of them a lower risk. The low risk, it may take like maybe a month to pass to 2 months. So the low risk, we're not in a rush, right? The high risk, we're in a rush. We're trying to pass 1, 2 days. There is a chance that you could fail those challenges on the high risk, but yeah, there's that chance. And they have a restart fee if you did want to like restart. For the high risk one, I believe it's like $60 for restarting, or 80 or something like that. Um, but yeah, if you wanted to restart and just do the high risk, then the high risk is meant just to get you funded. So then once you're funded, then you keep it at low risk, keep it as long as possible. Um, but a couple insights is they do allow up to 20 accounts. So if you did, let's say, if you did have, let's say, 50K accounts and you times that by 20, that's $1 million that you can get funded. And from the million, if you aim for, let's say, 1% a month, you're making $10,000, which 1% is very possible, very low risk. Like for the entire month to only make 1%, it's very low. Uh, Usually it's somewhere around the range of like 2, 3%, maybe 4%. So you can kind of do the math there. It'd be 20,000, 30,000, maybe 40,000 a month. Uh, but yeah, leveraging platform funding. So if you do want to give it a shot, just use a code, let me know, and get you signed up there, uh, signed up and connected. But yeah, and is there anyone that has any questions? And if you have questions, let me know. They do have 1 hour left. No joke. Like I posted about this 8 days ago. They started to sell 8 days ago, and it's about to end in 1 hour. So, no scarcity or anything like that. But if you do want to sign up, you don't have to. But if you do, I will try to help you get you funded. Once you're funded, you know, then from there you can take it on yourself. You can take it on yourself right away. Like you don't have to use my help or anything like that with Apex, but if you wanted help with getting you funded, that's what I can offer you. It's free help for using the link or the code. And then after you're funded, then from there you can do it yourself, or we can probably discuss a plan of management. But yeah, from there, it's just up to you. Would the discount apply to 1 month only, or will it be reoccurring at that price? So it's reoccurring at that price. And one thing is like, if let's say you don't get funded, there's no timeline, by the way. So there's no timeline, but if you don't get funded, like if you don't pass a challenge within 30 days, like there's no timeline. Okay. Let's say if you were to fail, then you can either pay the restart fee to get it restarted right away. So let's say you're doing high risk, you want to get it restarted the next day so you can try high risk again. Then you just pay like the 60 bucks or whatever to restart it. I'll actually get that number. Um, that number down of how much it is to restart. Okay, so restarting is a $80 to restart. But let's say if you failed it and you just wanted to wait the entire month, at the end of the month when the billing cycle comes through, um, it restarts automatically. So you don't have to pay the 80, it just restarts automatically. So it'd be like 30 bucks. So you would have to wait that time frame, but if that's if you just wanted to save like 60 bucks or depending on which size account you get. Yeah. Like if it's a bigger account, then yes, it may be worth just paying the reset instead of waiting at the very end. But yeah, that's mainly for like smaller accounts. The smaller accounts, you could maybe save a couple dollars by waiting until the final 30 days. And then it resets automatically for the 30. And the 50K is not much of a difference in price either. It's somewhere around like, I want to say it's like $30, 33. So the 25K is like 29. And then the 50K is somewhere around 33. The 25 and the 50K are both the really good ones because of profit target with trailing threshold. The trailing threshold is like the drawdown that you're allowed to have. So the way that it works, you can see right here for this 50K account, the profit goal is 3,000. 3,000 is 6%. The trailing threshold is 2,500. So what the trailing threshold means, if you're unfamiliar with that, is let's say your account starts with 50,000 and your account goes up to 2,500. So you need $500 more to hit your profit target. But the trailing threshold, it goes up based off of your highest balance. So if your account is at 52,500, then the max that you can have drawdown is 2,500. So that means if your account drops down to 50,000, then you would lose a challenge. Okay. Um, so it trails as your account is getting bigger. But also if you have 50K and if you drop down 2,500, then yes, you would lose the challenge. But yeah, it trails as your account is getting bigger. That's what the trailing threshold means. So yeah, 50K and 25K. 25K is I don't know why it's like glitching and not showing here. Here. Okay. So 25K is 1,500 and 1,500. So it's 6% and a 6% trailing threshold. So it's a bit better, but 50K, you could double the amounts. And as the account gets bigger, you can see the trailing threshold, like the 100K, it's 6% target or 3% trailing drawdown. So it makes it a little bit harder the bigger your account size is, but you also get more funding, so you can potentially make more once it's funded. So for the bigger accounts, I would actually recommend more of like a lower risk aiming, to pass in like maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, depending on like, how markets look and everything. But yeah, usually on the bigger accounts, it's going to be lower risk. Uh, Lower risk. And then the smaller accounts, we can use those for like higher risk to get you funded right away. I have a question. So what do you recommend? As far as all of all of these, I would recommend the 50K. It's either the 50K or the 250K. 50K, I would actually say, yeah, 50K and 250K are like the top ones. Maybe the 100K. Maybe the 100K if you want like that middle point. Um, for the 100K, we can go like a little bit more moderate, uh, but still be like a little bit conservative. But yeah, like when you really think of the pricing, so 207, 80% of that, it's 165 off. So it'd be $41 for the 100K account, which is that's like nothing compared to what type of balance you would have at the end when it's funded. This is way better than FTMO and all these other prices where it's like $800 to get a FTMO account, and um, they do refund you if you pass the challenge, and like, thank God they removed the time frame, because when they had only 30-day time frame, it was insane. Um, but their profit targets, you have to hit 10% with like 5% max drawdown. I believe they're like 8% now. Um, but yeah, so profit targets are a little bit more interesting. And there is a version which this is more like an FTMO version where it's static. See right here, 100K static. So this one right here has a 2% profit target, but the drawdown is 0.6% drawdown allowed max. And for this one, it's not trailing as the account gets bigger. This one is just if your account drops from 100K down to like minus 625, then that's when you would lose. And it doesn't trail as your account gets bigger like the other ones. So that's the static version. They only have the 100K for this. Um, One final thing to mention is they do have Tradevate and Rhythmic. So between both, Rhythmic would be more of the cheaper option. Or they're the same price, but it's a cheaper option once your account gets funded. So when your account does get funded, there's a different fee. Uh, there's a different fee, but it's really not much work. Yeah, so right here, 85 per account per month once it's funded. Doesn't matter the account size, so it could be 300K, it could be 25K. The fee is going to be 85 per each account. Um, so yeah, that's the fee for Rhythmic once it's funded. And for Tradeovate, it's 105 per account. So it's going to be about a $20 difference per month after it's funded. It's going to be the same price starting, but once it's funded, it's going to be like $20 more. Um, yeah. And Tradeovate's pretty good. It's just more of a platform that uh, like you could do your trading on TradingView if you wanted to. Like you can connect your Tradeovate account and you can place trades on here directly. Like you can go in here to the trading panel and just click buy and sell. You can see right here. Tradeovate is right. Did I miss it? Look at all brokers. Where are you? Tradeovate right here. So you can connect your Tradeovate account and you can place trades directly on the chart. Buy and sell, you can keep everything on your TradingView platform. But yeah, that's that. I'm done explaining what Apex is. So there's a couple, it's about 45 more minutes. While those 45 minutes happen, I'll actually, I'll be short on this training. This training that I'm going to do. Did cover it a bit the other day. This was like a session a while back. It was maybe like 3 sessions ago on the Technical Tuesday. But yeah, so for this one right here, say London session breakout. It's one of the indicators that gets included with the elite plan. So like the threes are part of the elite plan, but also this London session breakout indicator, which you don't have to be an elite person to draw these lines out, but it just helps out. And it's a strategy that's explained inside of the elite plan. So to some of you are getting it here. So yeah, so the way that this works is you'll get before the London session on GBP USD, what you'll look for is about 8 candles prior to London session open. You wait for a breakout. When breakout happens, so you can see these lines are drawn out, this top line and this bottom line. So this is London session open. Breakout happens right here. It's actually being turned into an algorithm. It's going to be part of the Wall Street algorithm. So it's going to be trading while I sleep. London session, I'm usually sleeping. So yeah, like I'll be up for like a couple hours in the beginning of London session, but then I'll be sleeping and then wake up to profits the next day. But yeah, so it's kind of the way it works is you get in on the breakout, catch about 20 pips on the way up, and that's it. So for this day right here, so this was one day over here, took profit. This day right here, 1, 2, 3. For this one right here, I personally wouldn't have gotten in for an entry, and I didn't. But yeah, so if you were to get it on the breakout, the way that it would look is like this. And yeah, it didn't hit its target. Didn't hit its stop loss either, but that's not a trade that I would have taken. So I wait for like during London session, getting into these territories over here. This is starting to get into like the New York session overlap and then New York session here. So New accession price can go the opposite way, which is exactly what happened right here. Price went the opposite way. Yeah, so like this day right here, no trade. This day right here, you can see marks off the zones here, where I would place a short entry at the break. Short entry at the break, aim for 20 pips. Right about there. All right. So this is a little bit of a variation. So I'm just quickly getting into like these type of setups. Risk to reward isn't always the best, especially when there's like a long wick that happens like this and stops are at the highs over there. Uh, but yeah, for the most part, you should be able to catch 20 pips like pretty easily. When you do this, just make sure risk to reward is or not risk to reward, but risking maybe somewhere around 1 to 3% trade. Here's another trade setup right here. It hit. This other one right here did not hit, but it wasn't a trade that I would have taken anyways, just because it was an area of support down here. So not a good entry. But you still want to mix this with understanding the market. So getting into a little bit extra with knowledge here is there is there's a new indicator that I'm working on uh, launching inside of the elite area. But with this one here, it's mixing the 21 and 8 crossover to let you know whether price is going into an uptrend or a downtrend. When price is like choppy like this, you do see a lot of back and forth. You can see a lot of sell signals and buy signals. Like uh, green represents that price is pushing up, and then red is representing the price is pushing down. So with this right here, it's just an extra thing that will help you with when to get in. You can mix this with multiple things. For example, like you can mix it with the London breakout. So like right here, this 21 and 8 crossed over right here. And this is exactly where it says to enter in for a buy based off that breakout of the prior to London session high right here. It broke out. That's where the entry was at. And the candles turned green right there. That's a clear indication to buy right there. Now, this one right here that I mentioned that I wouldn't have gotten in on, it was dropping down, but again, it was at this level of support down here, so not a good entry. And yeah, the sell signal happened way up here, so that's not really a good one. But like this one right here, this one right here said sell exactly where this right here says to sell. So it says sell here and it says sell based off the breakout. So that would have been a good entry. And it's hitting off resistance up here, aiming towards this level of support down here. So it's good entries. When you analyze a market, this helps you with getting in on these good entries. Um, now mixing with like the Pro threes indicator too is let's say right here we have a 3 at the bottom here. We have 1 touch, 2 touch, and then we have the 3rd touch right here. It's kind of like a triple bottom. It's also showing signs of like an uptrend formation. And then right here, this gives signs of this says buy signal right here. And you can see like from here, price went up and it kept going up all the way until it's set to sell to about here. So these are just ways that you can use 3 mixed with indication. So like here, for example, we have the 3 here and it says to sell right in this area. This one would have been more of like a break even trade just because that was a really long candle right there. But yeah, um, gives lots of different buy and sell signals. So you just kind of mix this. As far as indicators goes, indicators shouldn't be the main focus. It should be like the secondary thing. The main thing is going to be the price action, understanding what's going on with the market first, and then indicators being something that lets you know, okay, this is this is giving like a sell signal or a buy signal. Get in on the trade. So yeah, and this could be applied on any time frame. So if you want to scalp on a small time frame, like I'll just go down to the 15 over here. 15, pull this up. Say we have 3 up here and it's giving a sell signal here. So like we could be holding this sell signal coming down. Coming down, and I'd say probably down to this level of support down here. So it's on its journey on the way down there. But yeah, that's it for the training, you guys. Hope you guys got some value from this webinar. We have about 30 minutes left if you guys do want to get the Apex funding. But yeah, and if you have any questions, just let me know. Let me know and I will help you out. All right, I'm about to end this session. I'm not seeing any questions. Yeah, thank you guys for joining in on this Technical Tuesday. And we will be back at it again next week. Tuesday of next week. Let me just make sure. For the most part, most Tuesdays, I will be available for this. Tuesday the 24th. When is that on days? You guys, is Christmas? I know this might be a dumb question, but is Christmas on the 25th? 24th? 25th. Okay. So I was right. Um, I don't know why I thought it was maybe the 24th. Yeah, so it should be good for next week. But Christmas Day, right? Since the 25th, so that means Christmas Eve is on the 24th. Okay, that's where my confusion is happening there. So okay. So that being said, next week I may not be available because I may be going to a family gathering. So I have to check my calendar just to make sure. But yeah, I have a family gathering Christmas Eve, and it's going to be around Technical Tuesday's time. So I will have to cancel next week Tuesday, but we may postpone it for Monday instead. So just stay tuned for that. I will give an announcement out. If you're not inside the Watt platform, make sure to join in. Just go to look me up on social media. I have the links on there where you can join in. Currently, right now, we have it for free temporarily until it's no longer free once we reach a certain amount of members that join in. But yeah, that's in for tonight. I see Tyrone, you mentioned currently signing up for the 100K. Awesome, yeah. 100K is a pretty decent size account. Pretty decent size account. May not be worth one that we'll go for like the higher risk, but you know, we can try to give that a shot if you want help. Honestly, like you don't have to use what I have going on, but it's just if you want to. See a question, if I sign up tonight, can you get me connected tomorrow? I can try. I should be up most of tonight, but I have some like looking at charts and things to do. But yeah, I could definitely try for sure. For you, I can do it. But yeah, just reach out to me. I I should be reachable inside of like the support tickets area. Or if you have like personal connection to me, reach out to me there. All right, thank you guys. Have a good night. There's about 30 minutes left. See you guys.